Hey, everybody. You've done it. You've made it to your favorite time of the week. It is Star Trek Tuesday. It's time for the main viewer. We've got such great news for everybody. First and foremost, of course, we know that STSF happened this weekend. So much great stuff happened over the weekend with the Star Trek convention in San Francisco slash Burlingame slash the Bay Area. We'll report on that. Also, we have some a little bit of Kate Mulgrew, I think, news, right? Some
Ooh,
Captain
kind
Janeway
of.
news. We've got a little bit of a Nog deep dive. We've got what else? There was
Yes.
some other great
Nice.
stuff I want to talk about here. Oh, woo! We got some Skydance merger drama. Everybody loves that. And
They
we
should
also
just do
have
it.
we also have some news that may not be as good with regards to Section 31 and Paramount Plus. Bringing that dour news is our friend John Orchiola. Hi, John.
That's me. I'm here to bring this whole show down.
We are like, we're going to have such a great show. And John was like, I know what I want to talk about. Bad stuff. And so we'll
Bats.
see how it goes. I bet you it's not that bad.
It's not.
Also, everybody, Jenny R. Johnson's is here. Thank goodness for that.
Hello. Hi. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Whoa.
No,
I'm just
I
so
Was
like
that
excited
that.
to be here.
I think that was an E. Am I right? I think that was an E. I don't know.
Hello.
Anyway,
Is it me you're looking
everybody's
for?
figuring that out, except for John. John's like, I have no idea. I'm just here for the news. Melissa's still figuring it out. Melissa Longo's here.
And
Hi, hello. Now I'm distracted and now I forgot.
And of course,
it might have been a C. I see.
Do, re, mi, fa, fa, hello. It may have been a little bit higher than an E.
So,
Do,
we're
re,
all over
mi,
the place.
fa,
The
fa.
Matt Boardman's here, everybody.
Hello.
Maybe an E.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Wait, are we all going to sing like Dr. Bashir's Augments in that DS9 episode? And just try-
Over
Oh,
my
I'm
dead
sorry. Hello. I forgot.
I love that scene, actually. That was fun.
I do too.
And my name's Ryan T. Husk,
I love
everybody. No
yeah.
singing from me. Don't you worry about a thing.
Hey.
So fun.
I was listening to that the other day.
What?
Huh?
What?
I'm listening to happy music to keep
Oh.
me happy.
Hello to everybody in the live chat. What's up, Dave Gregory, War Dog Heim, Lucia Raz, May Borello, Chris Marshall, Arg, Scott the
Yeah.
Pirate, Chuck A, Joel. Hey, Joel, we saw you in San Francisco, didn't we? And Valis Ock.
Yeah.
He said basically he wanted Valis to be in there, but then added the A-N-O-K, which is interesting. Good to see you, Joel. Fran Iverson, hello. Joshua Reeve, Mark Zutkoff. It's great when we meet people in person because they tell us how to pronounce their names properly.
Yes.
And we usually
My
remember.
nose itchy.
Yeah.
Hi to Glenn Iverson. Hi to Rookie of the Year, Red Shirt Bob. Hey, Dennis Koch out in Canada. You and Jenny should be
Yeah.
buds. Although I think he's
Yes.
more West Coast Canada.
You know what? Right now, Canada is united like never before.
Really?
Right in
That's
this moment.
wonderful.
I thought
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
had a lot of drama going on. Like, didn't you
Yeah.
guys lose a prime minister and stuff? Like, that's drama.
We haven't lost him yet.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Long story, but yeah. Yeah. No,
We don't-
everything's fine. We're just
That
banding
sounds
together.
dramatic.
We're banding together.
This is
I
really good.
Richard Thomas, hello to you. You guys are always banded together, though. It's pretty cool. Bob D, hello. Tim McCaffrey, cool last name. Matt knows why. What's up, Angela L'Espérance and Melissa
Hey.
H? Wow, lots of fun people in the live chat.
Yeah.
And May Borello,
Fantastic.
It's a party.
who's also fun.
Tim
Tim's in
McCaffrey.
Ontario?
Yeah. Tim McCaffrey is in Ontario.
Nice. Isn't Bob D
Hey.
as well? The Canadians. Guys, I have my Degrassi shirt on for absolutely no reason other than I'm cold.
What's a Degrassi shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Grassy High.
Yeah, this is Degrassi. This is like from the TV movie. This was the first time there was an F-bomb on TV in Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
like 2020?
No. No. It was like 1994 or something, and it was insane.
And they made a shirt to commemorate it.
That's funny.
Basically, yeah.
All right. Okay, well, let's get into the news, shall we?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah. We
Big
like
cat
Star Trek
face.
news.
dramatic pause.
Yes.
Muted for some
And-
reason, Ryan T. Huss.
Sorry, we'll talk about all the
Oh.
beautiful, wonderful, and amazing news from San Francisco in a moment. Because first, John Orchiola is like, look, my time's limited, you guys. I want to crap on Star Trek before I got to go.
That's my MO. That's what I do.
So, first and foremost, Section 31 premiered a few days ago. A lot of people have seen it. Full disclosure, I have not watched it yet because the seventh rule will be doing our review of it, and Sirach and I like to have it fresh in our minds. Melissa said she already cheated and watched it, but Sirach and I like to.
just finished.
And you watched it.
She's doing
And
her job, Ryan.
Right. So we're going to review it tomorrow to put it up on Thursday. So I'm going to be watching it probably tonight. Sirach's probably going to be watching it like 5 seconds before we review it tomorrow.
Keep it really fresh.
Yeah. And so I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen anything online about it. So I don't know if it's good or bad or what the situation is there, but I'm sure it's freaking amazing. And I cannot wait to watch the crap out of it. So,
Yeah.
that being said, this first item here is from a website called screenrant.com. This is
Those guys.
exciting. And I am excited to read. Oh, this is from John Orchiola of Screen
Wait a
Rant.
minute.
Oh,
Back
You
of the
know that
head.
guy.
This is
I
great.
think I know him.
I was
The
gonna
title
say, yeah.
is,
I've never met him. I hear
wait a
terrible
second. It says, I'm afraid Section 31 just killed Star Trek streaming movies. John Orchiola, explain
Good
yourself, please.
heavens.
What?
Okay. All right. First of all, full disclosure, I have seen Section 31 5 times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're the reason that it's staying alive then, I guess.
Yes,
right.
yes. Well, some positive things about Section 31. It's actually currently the number 2 streaming movie on Paramount Plus, right behind Gladiator 2.
Awesome.
That's actually kind of fitting, right? A gladiator is keeping an emperor from being number 1. That's how that story goes.
Ah.
Wait, Gladiator 2, does that mean if they have a sequel, it'll be Section 32?
Nice, Ryan.
Well, you're jumping ahead at the if they're going to get a sequel part, but let's because there ain't no guarantees of that. But yes, it might be called Section 32. Of course, it won't be called Section 32. It'll be called Section 31 Part 2. I don't know what they'll call it, or maybe it'll be like Section 31 : something, as Star Trek movies tend to go. But yes, so Section 31 debuted. I will also admit, I had serious FOMO this weekend of not being in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Last week's premiere in New York City looked really, really cool. I know Anne Marie was there, and among a lot of other cool people. It looked really great. The movie itself, which as I've said, I've seen 5 times. It pains me to say I did not love it. It is the main complaints about it are that it's barely a Star Trek movie.
Hang on a
And it
second.
had-
Before we get into that,
Mhm.
which sounds a little negative,
a little bit.
why have you watched it 5 times?
The first time I watched it was when I got the screener. This is right before Christmas. So I watch it just for pleasure because that's what I do. I get a new Star Trek, I watch it for fun. But I also had to go through it to pull out talking points for Screen Rant's feature coverage. And we have tons and tons of feature coverage coming. It's already been published and even more coming on the way. So that required watching the movie a few times to be able to get the details. And then last Friday, I got together with my friends and we had a fun Section 31 premiere party, which actually was really, really great. The party was great.
It's fun.
The spirited debate after the movie was actually even more fun. Just because there are a lot of opinions, a lot of
Can you
opinions.
tell us a bit about the debates? Everybody, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications. If you're listening in, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. We'd really appreciate that. John Archiola, if there are debates going on, it sounds like the reviews were mixed, not all negative. What's up with that? What were the debates about?
Actually, debate was the wrong word. It was pretty universal. One person really thought it was good, and then of our group, which I think there were 8 or 9 of us, and
Nice.
everybody else who are diehard Star Trek fans, but of differing opinions. We all like different things about Star Trek. Some people love the older stuff. Some people, like me, also love the newer stuff. But the consensus was pretty universal. This is very sorely lacking as a Star Trek movie, especially considering its position as what it is. It's a historic movie. It's the first streaming movie for Star Trek. It's the first Michelle Yeoh led Star Trek movie, the first movie led by a woman, the first movie led by an Academy Award winner, and it's also the first Star Trek movie we've gotten in 9 years. So given all that pressure to deliver something special, it is what it is. And it is lacking in a lot of ways. Despite the fact that I liked the cast a lot. I thought the actors were very good. I wish they were given better things to do and say. I thought Michelle Yeoh had a really good time. Like, you could tell she was enjoying herself. And I thought some of the other actors were really good. Like, I thought Miku Martineau playing young Giorgio was really good. But yeah, it's just, this thing it's got issues. It's got serious issues, and it's not a particularly satisfying Star Trek movie, and it's not a particularly good spy movie, which is trying to be. It's supposed to be Mission Impossible kind of in the Star Trek world, but it doesn't really deliver that.
Man, I cannot wait to watch this movie. I see it, Melissa. I cannot wait to watch this movie and prove you all wrong about how amazing this
I'm
movie
dying
is.
to hear the 7
I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I am gonna take on all comers.
Because
But before we do that, yes.
No.
Before we do that, we want to say thank you very much to Rick Hernandez, who gave us a very nice super chat. Thank you so much for that. He says something positive about this movie. A lot of people are now revaluing Nemesis, Insurrection, Star Trek V. Rude.
I mean, that's nice. That's a good thing. It's nice to shuffle your choices.
Than Star Trek V at this point.
I liked all of those movies, I think. Anyway, so I cannot wait to have ammo to take on all comers, but I can't say anything because I have not watched it yet. Thank you very much, Rick Hernandez. We really appreciate you. Please continue, John Archiola of Screen Rant.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, the reception of this movie has not been terribly positive. The reviews have been unkind, to say the least. I checked Rotten Tomatoes today. It is, I believe, 21% rotten as of today, which is the lowest of all the Star Trek movies. I mean, for context, Star Trek V is the second lowest at 23, and Nemesis is actually at something like 33 or 35. So it's, and the audience
rightly
score
so.
Nemesis? No.
I
am Nemesis. I'm not a Nemesis
I
guy.
like Nemesis too.
I'm not a Nemesis.
I'm not a big fan of Nemesis,
No,
but I love
I'm a
all the
Gen
people
Z.
in Nemesis. I love
I
all of
think
the people
the
in Nemesis.
acting was phenomenal in Nemesis.
I agree. The things
Dude,
about
bro.
the movie I didn't enjoy.
Ron Perlman.
I know.
And it had that
He
cool,
was great.
what were those things? What, like the scimitar? Is that what it was? The cool
Yeah.
ship that's like
Yeah.
this or something?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Lots of great elements.
Yeah, there are elements. There are elements.
Other things that made me upset. That's a very strong feelings of a generation. So
Nothing but blue
sorry,
skies,
interrupt.
USC.
You know what? That right there, I love that bit.
Please continue.
Sorry.
John.
Are we all singing Blue Skies now? Are we all going to harmonize?
God, I hope not. I would rather die.
Ouch.
Everyone has strong opinions today.
Yeah. I mean, when
everything.
did Star Trek not bring out strong opinions? When when is Star Trek ever middle of the road? Let's all just love it all and just say lovely things
That's a
all the
good
time.
point, John Archiola. So
That
you're saying that
is.
Section 31 is the Roman Reigns of Star Trek. Because do you remember when Roman Reigns a few years ago, in wrestling, they were pushing him, trying to make him the superstar, and people were just not having it. They
Right.
just did not work. They booed him, they whatever. And he said, you know what? Even if you're booing me, as long as you're reacting strongly, I've done my job. And again, if everybody's having strong opinions about Section 31, even if they're negative, the worst opinion to have is indifference. Indifference means we've failed. If people are fighting about it, that's
I don't
at least a
think they
moderate
are
win.
fighting about it.
No.
They get everybody in unison is saying the same thing.
Well, but that scares me though.
I think, yeah. Melissa's
That
kind of right
scares
there.
me,
There is
though,
a Horus of Agreement going on across the
yeah,
internet.
exactly. There is a
Unprecedented,
unifying thread.
really.
We finally are united in.
Right.
We are the collective. We are the Star Trek collective.
That's really special. That's
but you know
lovely.
Just passionately agreeing.
Right. But that scares me though, because there is another franchise that, that's out there right now where I do see people becoming indifferent to it because
Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I've become
Because it's
indifferent recently to it. Yeah.
Well, and I will say
Marvel.
that I was not a fan
A little bit, yeah.
of one of the shows. And so when Skeleton Crew came out, I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, hey, this is actually really cool. But there was no drive for me to continue watching it after that. Now I have since gone back and watched it.
You mean Star Wars Prodigy, right? I haven't seen that one yet.
Right.
Go on. Sorry.
But yeah, but it was not, there was no desire there was like no push. Like, whereas with Picard season 3, I was like, I could not wait for it to come out each week to know what happened next. And like that 10 weeks of Picard season 3 was very it was just so fast and furious for me, and it filled with excitement. Whereas
Take me back, Lord.
so that's what I worry about, because
Yes.
if we get to that point of indifference in the fans, then that's the point the studio says, well, why are we continuing to put money into this then? And then we're back into that no man's land where there's no Star Trek whatsoever.
So maybe it's good to have this kind of fervor about Section 31 because Star Trek fans are so passionate about Star Trek and the Star Trek universe, because they've invested so much of their life into this universe.
Absolutely.
Of course you're going to fight for what you love, and people love Star Trek because it's held such an important place in their lives.
Yeah, that's a good point. It really is. Watching a Star Trek movie that you didn't enjoy, I would be hard pressed to name a person that was like, you know what, that's it, I'm done with Star Trek. I didn't like this movie. But that's just, you're not giving up the entire franchise. You're, just because if anything, then you're more eager for something else.
Yeah. And it would be so un-Star Trek-like to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you get what I'm... Yeah. To say, oh no, we had one misstep. Now it's over. That would be the wrong move. As long as you don't drink
the bathwater.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's poached fish on this buffet. I'm never coming here again. It's a buffet, man. Just don't eat the fish.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
so I just want to point out that we had a poll, and 70% of the people watching right now have seen Section 31. Don't worry, everybody else. We are not divulging spoilers. I haven't seen it, so I hope there are no spoilers, but don't worry, everybody, stick around. There are no spoilers, but those of you that have seen this already, feel free to chime in on your thoughts on Section 31 without giving spoilers, please. Please continue, John Archiola. So you think that this is going to hurt the future chances for Paramount having movies are on Paramount Plus. Why is that?
Well, that's the fear, right? This was the first streaming movie. Ostensibly, the hope was it would launch a whole franchise of streaming movies because there's so much potential for 2-hour movies about Star Trek characters that we haven't seen in a while, or things that we couldn't get in the existing series, like the Deep Space Nine reunion we've all been wanting, or the Enterprise reunion we've all been wanting, or what happened to Soji? What happened to Agnes Jurati, the Borg Queen?
Absolutely.
What happened to Captain Lorca? Or like what before he died in the Mirror Universe? Like how did he get here? Like you could bring back Jason Isaac and do a really cool 2-hour movie about him.
Ooh, that's actually a really good idea.
You know, like there's so much potential for Star Trek to have these 2-hour movies every couple of years. And so obviously a 21% Rotten Tomatoes rating is not the reception Paramount would have hoped for the first Star Trek streaming movie and the first movie in 9 years, starring Michelle Yeoh, the Academy Award winner. So much prestige coming with this. So that's really the fear here. Is this going to hurt the potential for more for streaming movies, or is this like, does it shut the door on it, or is it going to create like a radical rethinking of how to do Star Trek, at least in the 2-hour format, which maybe would be a great thing. Yeah, maybe it would be a great thing. Yeah. And then of course, there's the other thing that's floating out there, which anytime a Star Trek comes out now, recently, since 2023, that people did not enjoy, it automatically seeks into what we want. Damn it, it's Star Trek Legacy. And how come where is it? How come we're not getting it?
Yeah.
And so, although
not gonna happen, bro.
Right? That's right. Ryan is speaking for Paramount Plus. He just did the voice of Paramount Plus. But and to be fair, Paramount Plus has never said that Legacy will be a movie or a TV series. But hope springs eternal, right? I mean, the cast still wants to do it. The creative team still wants to do it. The fans desperately want it.
Yeah.
And there obviously is that hope out there that, hey, maybe if we can't get the series, a 2-hour Star Trek Legacy movie would be the next best thing. Would be love to see them back all together. Let's do a 2-hour story. Get Jack Crusher, get Seven of Nine, get Rafi, and let's have that at least. And so will Section 31 already take like a pie in the sky idea and make it even more unreachable because it's just not being received the way anybody hoped it would. So that's really
my question is like I understand, a big movie, Waterworld. Let's take Waterworld for example. Waterworld, the most expensive.
Was very well. It was so expensive.
It wasn't the most, but
because they used Evian for the water. Otherwise,
they did. Yes, crazy, just unprecedented.
Yeah.
Now it was a colossal failure because it didn't make the money back in the theaters, and there's all this like money in terms of like that has to be paid to the theaters. So what's the difference in judging the success of a movie now that goes right to streaming? Like because there are some costs involved in a theatrical release that don't exist in a streaming release. So does it lower the bar to some degree?
I don't know. I don't know how they weigh the return on investment.
Because it's not ticket sales, right? So
Right. So, which is why social media and online response is so important. But also the most important thing is obviously viewership. It's obviously how many millions or billions of hours are spent watching this thing. And so, I mean, the one positive to take away, regardless of how it's being received, is that right now it is being watched. It's the number 2 movie on Paramount Plus right now. So, so that's
a win,
probably the big. That's the win. That's the saving grace.
That is.
Yeah,
that's a saving grace. And if it stays up there, if people are still watching it, regardless of what the Star Trek fans say, this movie is not giving Star Trek fans, the diehards, the people who really love this universe and this franchise, what they're looking for. But maybe it actually is playing to a broader audience that doesn't care about Star Trek or just the minimal amount of Star Trek. Maybe is what is kind of connecting with them, just because to them it's just a fun sci-fi action movie. So maybe what's working against us as Star Trek fans is actually what's pleasing a larger audience. We won't know. We won't know because unless Paramount Plus releases the numbers, which they might.
That's a really interesting point. It would be really interesting to find out what Star Trek fans rate it on average
Yeah.
and what non-Star Trek fans rate it on average. And if it actually brings in new fans that go, hey, this is kind of cool. This is like Mission Impossible, or this is like whatever, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy. I could watch Star Trek. And then they put on the original series and they go, this isn't like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Where's the entry point? If you start with Section 31, what's the entry point? Where's the
Who knows?
like,
Right. That's a
what
good
do you
question.
tell people? Huh.
What do you watch next?
I know. It's a good question. I mean,
Deep
one
Space
would think
Nine.
it would, yeah. Well, really, I mean,
this is where Section 31
then-
all started.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, never mind.
No,
I can't say what I said without spoilers. So
Spoiler.
right.
just
Yeah.
going to
Now-
say, yeah.
Now, speaking of that, though, you know, this movie is set in the Lost Era, right? It's between Next Generation and it's between Star Trek 6. So it's early 24th century. Now, if there is no more Section 31, if they don't get a sequel, one of the tragedies of this also for the Michelle Yeoh Giorgio character is that it kind of strands her because there's nothing close by to latch onto that you can spin her off to. Next Gen is too far away in the future for Emperor Giorgio to suddenly show up in some sort of reboot of Next Gen. But also, you know, she's already time traveled to this era. You can't send her back time traveling again because they basically built in a whole story about how more time travel will just kill her. That's why she was sent back.
Right,
That's why
that's
she was
true.
sent back to past to begin with. So you can't time travel her. She's stuck in this era now. So unless there's more Section 31, this is the last time we see the character.
Right. Interesting.
Okay, so I have good news for everybody. The good news is that John Orchiola, you are severely undervaluing Section 31 in the eyes of the fans. Here's what I'm seeing. And by the eyes of the fans, I mean the dozens that we've polled. Because here is the poll. The question was, for those of you that have seen Section 31, what would you rate it? 11% said 8 to 10. Okay, so it's maybe not a top choice. 22%.
Out of 10?
Yes. 22% said a 1 to a 3. 33% said 4 to 5, and 33% said 6 to 7. In other words, 2/3 of people said it's between a 4 and a 7. That's average.
Yeah. That's good. That's actually
We'll take it, right? We'll take it.
But
55%
said it was either 5 or less.
Ooh, that's a good. But 55% then said it's a 6 or higher, 54%. So,
Nuh-uh.
I mean, 44%. You're right. No, 44%. But still, that's an interesting point. But what we're saying is basically, like when you see the IGN rating and it gave them a 2, but we're finding out that it's a little bit more around a 4 or 5. That's encouraging.
Right.
Well, never mind.
No.
It was gonna be negative again.
You're allowed to have your opinions, just no spoilers.
No, it's not my opinion. But when I was watching when I pressed play, I saw the IMDb score, and it's a 4 on IMDb.
Maybe it was just a lot of people were confused and they thought they needed to give it a 3.1. Like maybe it's just like a, you know what I mean? Like I think maybe they just
very
thought
understandable.
Very good.
they're like, well, this is what I'm supposed to give it. That's
Yeah.
the rule. And then other people are like, no, 4.7 is the magic
Exactly.
Star Trek number.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
it can be easily explained away.
Just plonked right in a
Okay.
4. Yep. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
But you know
that
what,
does
too?
make sense.
Here's a bit of thought exercise. We're all Star Trek fans. I would guesstimate we've all been watching since the 90s for a good amount of time. So yeah, so in our lifetime, right, of how often we've gone to and seen Star Trek in the movies, gone to a Star Trek movie. How many of those Star Trek movies, let's say starting from Generations or maybe Star Trek 6, let's say from that span, how many of those movies were actually well received upon release? Do you recall? Like people like actually generally loved it.
Good point.
The movies?
First Contact,
But-
1.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
First Contact.
Mhm.
Right?
The best
It's
one.
great.
Star Trek 2009, I would say, was well received. I thought like the general public really liked this movie.
It was a little mixed, but there were the people that had not seen Star Trek before
Right.
or had
Mhm.
hardly seen it were actually like you say, the general public was actually pretty warm on it.
Yeah, that movie made bank, but Into Darkness, no. Beyond
That got
was
a bad
lukewarm.
rap.
Yeah, Beyond was lukewarm.
Well,
Nemesis,
I
Nemesis,
think-
no.
Into Darkness
Insurrection,
got
no.
a bad rap because of the casting choices.
Yeah, there were a lot of issues
Yeah.
with Into
Yeah.
Darkness. There were a lot of issues. I mean, they basically lied to us. All the marketing lied to
Yes,
oh,
they
he's
did.
not
us for
Khan.
months.
He's not Khan. Oh wait, yes.
It might be
He
Gary
is.
Mitchell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're like, no, it's Khan. No, it might be.
What are you talking about?
Psych, it's
Because
Khan.
there could have
Yeah.
been there was really great stuff in that movie.
Mhm.
Just question the casting choices because it wasn't.
The only one of those
Authentic.
movies I didn't like, actually, personally, was Star Trek Beyond. And I know a lot of people thought that Beyond Burger was the more Star Trek one, but
I'm one of
I actually liked that one the least out of the three
Interesting.
the
I
Kelvin
didn't
movies.
dislike that one either.
I like that one.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
like it. I'm
I'm
very
just
very
curious,
fond of it.
like Ryan, what and this no, I'm just curious, like from your standpoint, what is it about Beyond that like didn't sit?
Yeah.
I'd have to force myself to watch it again to remember,
Yeah.
but I remember it being very
Beastie Boys.
First of all, the Beastie Boys.
I love the Beastie
Yeah,
Boys.
that's right. I remember
Enough.
that.
It was like, dude, we just had to deal with the Beastie Boys in the first movie, and now you're bringing it back. What were people begging, clamoring for more Beastie Boys in their
Call
Star
back.
Trek?
And
They're
but
like,
not only the
"Please,
Beastie Boys,
man."
but the same song. Wasn't even like,
Ah.
you know, like,
No,
intergal-
and-
they could they
That's
totally
what I'm
could have played
saying.
Intergalactic Planetary or
And
something else,
anything.
victory. And the victory hinged on that song. They had to
Yeah.
have the song or else they couldn't win.
And
Yeah.
also, this was the one with the motorcycle going around in a circle and the little
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so when I saw that, my first thought was
Brilliant.
they clearly they clearly had that image in their head and contorted the script around that to create that thing rather than writing a script and that scene coming out naturally. And then naturally, I guess at this point, Kirk has to ride around in a motorcycle with the music going. I mean, that's just that's just the direction the script is going organically. No, it was very clear that they had an idea. This is the scene I want. How do I make the script go in that direction? If it was so incredibly forced to me, and a lot of the movie was like that. There was a lot of tell, don't show. It was a lot of telling me what to think and giving me what's the word I'm looking for, Melissa? Exposition. It was given a lot. It just felt like it just didn't do it for me. I was like, the other two were at least felt like somebody was trying to just write a script, good or bad. Whereas the third one, it felt like they had all these fun ideas that they wanted to plop in, and then like an equation, they tried to figure out a way to make the script fit all of the things, all the elements that they wanted.
Right.
That was my opinion on it. But
Beastie
anyway.
Boys minus motorcycle equals what?
Right. Although it
Solve for N.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Although Idris Elba, I think, makes a wonderful
amazing.
villain.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful actor, and
He's
I
awesome.
really appreciated his work in that movie.
Yeah, but I don't think they gave him much to work with. I don't think they gave him a good character to
They
work
didn't
with.
do
The character didn't do anything
Started
for
off
me, even though he's a
interesting
great
and then
actor.
turned into the kind of the
He is a great actor.
by the end.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah.
You know who stole the movie for me was Sophia Boutella when she was as Jayla, as the
You
new,
do like that
female.
character, yes. I remember that. Yeah.
She is fantastic. She's fantastic in it.
So who
Shout
would you
out to
say
Dawn
is this?
Crandall, who likes her too.
Who's the standout in Section 31? Aside from Michelle
No
Yeoh.
spoilers.
Okay, I took a lot of shit for this, but I actually
Ew.
really, yeah, But I actually really liked Fuzz, the Vulcan, just because. And again, I took a lot of shit for this and I understand why people hate that character. He does a very, very broad Irish caricature. But for me, it was so out there, and it was such a weird and different way to do a Vulcan that I found it perversely entertaining. Like, it was just something I could latch onto. It was like, well, this is so fucking weird. I like it.
I knew he was a Vulcan.
Lucky Charms.
Huh?
I knew he was a Vulcan.
Well,
no
there's
one
a
would
lot more
believe
to it
me.
than that. There's a lot more to it than that.
I know. I read the
It's
spoilers.
not just any Vulcan.
So back to the lesson at hand, John Orkiola, here's the key, because you've made a pretty bold proclamation saying that Section 31 is going to hinder future movies. Now, are you just saying...
No, that's not. I did not make that proclamation. I said I fear that could happen.
Why? Just because it's poorly received, or what do you...
Yes.
What? Give us more.
Yeah. Well, no, that's really it. Like, based on the reception of this, like, if you're Paramount Plus, if you're the executive sitting in your smoke-filled boardroom, because to me it's like a 1950s wrestling, if you're in there in Paramount Plus and like, do we want to make more of this? Look at the shellacking we're getting online. Do we want to make more of this? I don't know. I don't run a streaming service, so I can't answer that. But that is the fear. I would love more Star Trek movies. I would love more Star Trek movies about different things, different characters. I would love Star Trek Legacy. I would love something better than this. I appreciate what they were trying to do, but I would hope for something else and something better. But will that happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hope, right? Is that maybe, because and as you do a post-mortem on it, you kind of look at it and say, okay, what could we have done better based upon the way it was received, and hopefully that leads to something. Like, okay, these are areas that maybe we need to change in, right? You hope that's the hope. I think, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's how I work.
Well, and maybe, I don't know, maybe do listen to the Star Trek fans, because the Star Trek fans are the ones who have kept it around for 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years.
That.
That's more than half a century.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it just so happened, the thing that of the last 7 years that the Star Trek fans loved the most was Picard season 3. Why? Because it was the most Star Trek. It was the one that gave us all the Star Trek that we wanted, with the characters we wanted, with the iconography, the nostalgia, but also a forward-looking story. A setup.
Here's a question for you guys, though.
To be fair, I mean, there's all, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would argue that Prodigy and Lower Decks did a pretty fantastic job at that too.
Yeah,
excellent.
You're absolutely right. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. That's true. That's true.
Well, let me ask you guys this question
kind of a different thing now.
Do you guys think, because we're all over 25 here, I believe.
Nope.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
My mom's gonna pick me up soon.
Do you guys think that the reason you're saying that Picard season 3 is the most Star Trek is just because it's the most Star Trek how we remember it as far as 90s start? It's basically we're going back and we're watching, the band Poison in 2025, and we're like, just play the oldies. Just play the hits. Just play the songs from Open Up and Say Ah. And they're like, check out this new stuff. And we're like, no, we want to hear Every Rose Has Its Thorn, bro. That's it. And then they play that and we go, yeah, that's Poison. So the question is, are we being a little too get off my Lonnie about Star Trek, whereas a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old is saying, Picard season 3 is not the most Star Trek. It's the most of what Star Trek used to be. And I don't need that crap. I'm down with Discovery and Prodigy and Strange New Worlds. Yeah. What do you guys think? Are we out of touch?
Like, I loved Picard. And I love all of Picard, a lot of which wasn't Star Trek-y. So I think, honestly, what Melissa said, like of all the new stuff that's come out, I think Prodigy is the most Star Trek.
I agree.
Like 100%. Like
I
if you think about the elements of what Star Trek is and what the universe is and the values, the ideals, all of it, you know, like there's arguments. I'm not even gonna get that. Sorry, I'm gonna go off on a tangent. But like, but really, yeah. And I think Prodigy is a great example of doing something new that is recognizable to old fans and new fans, and like making Star Trek. And I think that's where some of the difficulty has come with Discovery, because it's a very different Star Trek that doesn't have quite that same appeal in a general way, you know?
Yeah. And it tried very, very hard, and maybe too hard, to reinvent something that didn't necessarily need to be reinvented quite to that degree.
Yeah.
But are we conflating nostalgia with quality?
No, because Prodigy did that. Prodigy did that. I mean, yeah, you have Janeway and the stuff from Voyager, but that's not why I loved Prodigy. It's because it was putting out there what Star Trek has always put out there. It's asking questions and asking us about humanity, and to examine our humanity in a way that explosions is never going to do, fighting is never going to do. It has character development, it has relationship, and this has been the through line. Family is the basis of the show, even though they're not related.
So isn't it fitting that this is the one that got kicked off of Paramount?
Yeah. Note to Paramount, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Before we go any deeper, John Orkiola, I know you have to run. Any final thoughts on this before you go?
On Prodigy, on Section 31, on
anything you want, bro.
Sure. I 100% agree. Animated Star Trek, Lower Decks, and Prodigy, I feel, delivered the purest Star Trek of the last several years. I think it's probably the greatest tragedy right now that both those shows are in limbo, because the innovation and the love and care, and not just nostalgia, but also just the ability to tell amazing stories in the Star Trek context that those shows did, are now lost until we get them back in some fashion. And yeah, I mean, I wish Section 31 leaned more into what makes Star Trek great, and just was better overall. But we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. I hope there won't be
here first. John Archiola says, "Make Star Trek great again."
Oh, all right. God. I did not say
that's what I heard, John. That's what I heard.
I did not phrase it that way. I'm not wearing a red hat.
You were thinking it.
I've never worn a red hat.
Everybody send your hate mail to John Orkiola at... No, I'm just kidding. Thanks so much for always providing great content for us, John Orkiola, and always covering Star Trek very thoroughly and very honestly, with the good and the bad. You know, we tease a little bit, but you do definitely, you know, you keep it real for us. So thanks very much for that, John. Everybody check them out on screenrant.com. And where can they find you online elsewhere?
I'm at Back of the Head on Threads, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. Yeah, and you know, I missed you guys in San Francisco. I wish I could have gotten to go. I'm glad to get to hang out with you here, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.
We missed you too, dude. All right, see you soon, John.
All right, love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Poor John. Did you see the look on his face when I said that? That was awesome.
No, it was like
he's like, I did not say that. I think that's what I think I heard that, John. That's what you. Anyway, all right. So where were we? Let's put a button on this and close this out.
Yeah.
Because that is an interesting point. That, you know, sometimes I think like, you know, we are the gurus of Star Trek. We know what good Star Trek is. It's Deep Space Nine, Dominion Wars. it's Next Generation. Some people are saying, no, no, good Star Trek is Voyager. That's what we say. And then they say, oh, what about Discovery? Oh, it's fine. It's cool. It's good for what it is. But the real heart of Star. But then when you start thinking about it, and maybe that's just because that's what we grew up on.
Mhm.
Maybe we sound, when we hear those old heads saying, yeah, original series, there's only one captain, and it's Captain Kirk. That's all. And we hear those guys, and we're just like, oh, you grandpa, you silly guy. It's okay. No, let's get some hard candy and talk about it. What if people in their teens and 20s are hearing us saying this and they're thinking, dude, Discovery is the best series of Star Trek, and you sound like an old timer talking about the good old days of 90s Trek.
I mean, that is
Is
actually
that
happening.
possible?
It is
Well,
a
it is
thing.
possible for
Mhm.
some people, but not for everyone, because
No.
that's certainly not true for me.
Yeah.
And
don't
I
know.
know this is not true for me, because Captain Carol Freeman is one of my favorite captains.
Yeah.
One of my
I think-
favorite Star Trek captains.
I don't know. I
And
think I'm
she's
onto something
fantastic.
because the look on Matt's face is telling me I'm onto something. He's going like, damn, I think
For
he's right.
Matt,
No,
for Matt, but
Yeah.
not
no,
for
I
me.
actually have been
Yeah.
giving this a
Doesn't
lot of thought.
represent
lately.
us all.
Exactly.
You can't blanket statement and say, "Oh no, we're all
That's
get
not
off
true.
you
That's
off."
impossible.
Wait, what is that? It's Star Wars. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Star Wars.
impossible.
Search your feelings.
You know
No,
it to be
just
true. Mhm.
I've been thinking about this, and what is it like? Because we hear that a lot. We hear, oh, Discovery's not about it. I mean, let's be honest, since Discovery came out, we've heard that sometimes a daily basis, 2, 3 times a day from people in the groups, and somebody's like, hey, I actually love this, and everybody's like, you're stupid, you're dumb, how could you like something like that? And it's just like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
First off, people like different things. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like the different things.
It could just be generational.
Well, this is my thought about it, and I will try to do the Reader's Digest version so we can talk about other things. But the thing that I thought about, it was like, okay, what is it about Star Trek that people like? Okay, and from the original series through Enterprise, we had some sort of connective tissue from between those series, right? Whether it was the people who worked behind the scenes, people who were writing, whether it was a visual connection to stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
with Voyager, we got a send off from Deep Space Nine. With Next Generation, we saw McCoy with Data walking in the hallway.
We had a lot of the same writers that had
Yes,
been in
exactly.
Deep Space Nine
And
or Next
and so-
Generation.
Yeah, exactly. And so it all had a similar tone. It had there was something
Optimism.
familiar about it. Yeah,
Mhm.
even though it was a different crew. And I will admit, when Voyager first came out, because in my idiot teenager brain, I didn't understand why Voyager was happening. I didn't understand why Next Generation was leaving the air, and all of a sudden Voyager was happening. I was like,
Yeah, I was a little
"That's
upset about
Voyager.
it,
They're
yeah.
taking my Next Generation
Yeah.
off the air. I hate them. I'm not going to watch this show." And then I started watching. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Captain Janeway. Tell me more, Chakotay. I want to be Tom Paris, and like it was just like stuff like, and now I really enjoy it. But I think the commonality was there's something familiar about it to people. And then when we got to Discovery, it was a very stark departure from those, because we had new people who really
Completely
had
different.
more-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. And I just
So
think that's part of why people maybe struggle with accepting it. But that's why when we get to Lower Decks and Prodigy, who share some of that connective familiarity, in tone, and Lower Decks is set in the 24th century, right? And so we're getting references and stuff like that. And I just, maybe that's what people are looking for. It's not so much that they want more of the same. It's that they're okay with new crews, but that it needs to feel like it's part of that same universe. I don't know.
What's interesting is that in the middle of all of that, you have Enterprise, which
Right.
was hugely
Enterprise
divisive.
still had some of the same writers and
Oh, it did,
team,
yeah. Yeah,
you
it
know,
did.
was-
It did. But it also had some elements that were very, very different and really turned some people off initially.
Mhm.
Like, which is interesting it's sort of like the precursor to taking like to new Trek, where
I just remember being so excited every time a new Star Trek series, like
Yeah.
when
yeah.
Voyager came out, I was there day one,
Mm.
minute one, super excited. When Enterprise was coming out, and I remember reading about Voyager and Enterprise before the first episodes, like getting like whatever
Yeah.
magazine I could find and paying $3.99 for it and reading Meet the New Crew. Oh
Yeah.
man, there's this guy Tuvok. He looks
Mhm.
so cool. Or like reading like, production notes on Enterprise saying that they tried to make the corridor smaller and give it
Yeah.
like a submarine feel and things like that. And just all these really interesting things. I remember being really excited. I've got really good news, everybody, in the live chat. We had a poll. The question was,
Ooh.
do you think Section 31 killed the possibility of another Trek movie being released on
Ew.
Paramount Plus? Now, we're not talking about a
Ew.
theatrical release. We're talking about just like a straight to DVD. And 68% said, nah, there's another one coming. That's more than 2/3 of you.
Mhm.
Roughly the same amount of people that think this is a good enough movie. It's like a 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 that are saying Star Trek will survive like Gloria Gaynor. There's going to be another one.
Yeah.
They're going to regroup and everything will be just fine. So that's great news. Also, one final bit of great news. Everybody, Joy has joined the live chat. Hey, Joy, great seeing you in San
Hey.
Francisco. And May Borello told her the same. She said it was so great meeting you in San Francisco.
That's
Boy, Jane
nice.
and Matt really missed out in San Francisco.
Yeah, I
We
know.
got to meet. Hey, well, wait, no, we'll talk about San Francisco in a minute. Well, let's just put a pin on this. I know you guys have final thoughts on this stuff, or maybe you don't.
Do we?
I guess not. All right,
But wait, no, I'm just
turning
I just think
the page.
like what you like.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
yeah.
Exactly.
Like what you
Exactly.
like.
Not everybody's gonna
Well-
like everything, but
also
But-
it's okay to ask for more from the things that you like. If you don't feel like and do so, something that we've always talked about on this show is positivity. Find a way to be positive about, okay, I didn't care for this movie, but why didn't I? And honest feedback, right? Because if you just come in and you're just like, this sucks, I hate it, then nobody
yeah,
learns.
it's not productive.
But if you all
Exactly.
say everything's great, nobody learns too. So you guys are keeping it real. Love it.
Exactly.
what were you gonna say, Melissa?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say that this kind of follows the history of Star Trek as well. I mean, The Next Generation got hate because it wasn't TOS.
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine got hate because it wasn't going anywhere. Voyager got hate because of whatever. Enterprise got hate because of whatever.
Yeah.
Every show has gotten their own share of hate, so this is nothing new. It's not
It's a
new.
long tradition.
It's it is a
You've
long
earned your
tradition.
stripes, Section 31. Everybody hates you.
Exactly. Exactly. And in 10 years, it's going to be a cult classic.
Pretty soon there's going to be those hot takes. I loved Section 31.
Yes,
and
yeah.
here's why.
They're going to be showing it at midnight in some random theater in downtown Hollywood, right? And everybody shows
People
up
throwing
in their
toast.
Giorgio costumes and everything, right?
Oh yeah, and TAS got hate too.
Yep.
For a long time,
Absolutely.
it was questioned whether it was part of canon or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That was
up
great.
next,
I
you
feel like
guys.
we really
I feel like we could keep talking about it. Like there's way more to dive into this, and we'll have more time to do so. But
Yeah,
we've got
exactly.
to cover the next news item, which is everybody trek to San Francisco at the Hyatt Regency SFO Airport. That happened this weekend, and everybody knows the big news there was that our friend Joy attended, as previously mentioned.
I love that.
Another big news item was that Melissa Longo finally met co-creator of Falling Tower, co-host of the Watch the First podcast, former bandmate of mine, multiple former bandmates or multiple time former bandmate, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg. So I'm happy about that.
So happy. It was so great to see him. He walked up to my table very slyly and he said, I wonder who this walking art made by Melissa stuff is made by. Is it made by Melissa, and I look up
That's
and I was
very
like,
sly.
who's asking this question?
Yeah.
Strange question. And I look up and it's Michael Kenyon Rosenberg. And it took me a second because I'm not used to seeing him in person because I had never seen him in person before, only in the square, in the square box. I was like, oh my gosh. It was so great because he feels like a friend. But
I think he is one,
a
right?
friend. He is a friend. And I love that about Zoom in this electronic ages, in that we could have friends that we've never met in person, but they live in different parts of the world. I love that. But it was so wonderful to actually be able to give him a big hug.
Yeah.
Big squeeze. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah.
That's so nice. Oh, what a cool. I love that. And how long, I mean, because you've known him for years now.
Years.
Yeah. That's wild. That's so cool.
And I even offered to donate my kidney to him.
And she laughs about it. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, it's just I still hadn't met him in person, but it didn't matter because he's a friend.
Exactly. Oh no, I think there he is.
Wait, there we go. So okay, so that's all great, and there were a lot of reunions to be had, but that's all amazing for us personally. However, the people in the live chat are kind of like, I'm real happy for you. What was the Star Trek stuff that happened?
Aww.
Well, there was a great panel with Christina Chong and Celia Rose Gooding. That was a lot of fun. That was La'an and Uhura. There was a great Ethan Peck and Anson Mount panel that was a lot of fun. That is, Pike and Spock. There was a great Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn panel that, of course, that was Worf and Troy. Those two together are
it's hilarious.
Hilarious.
There were so many great things. Larry Nemeczek was all over the place. There was a man by the name of Christopher Lloyd that wowed the crowd aloud. We were proud. And that was a great time. That was on Saturday. Really, and I personally, I loved the venue. What I thought was really cool was that the restaurant manager, shout out to Victor, he was great.
Yeah.
They had cool Star Trek themed drinks like Ractigino,
awesome,
like Romulan Ale, like what was the other one, Melissa? Blood wine, of course. Everybody's got blood wine. Blood wine's the easiest one to do. Theoretically, I mean, you could get as creative as you want, or you could just get Cabernet and be like, it's fucking blood wine, bro. Drink it and pay overprice for it.
And they also had a Vulcan breakfast sandwich that was vegan.
Oh, that makes
brilliant.
That's so like a deep cut. That's really great.
Someone was a big Star Trek fan in here because you're going to love this, you guys. The wait staff, the servers, were dressed in Star Trek uniform. TNG Star Trek uniforms.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Yeah, they also had like Gah and all kinds of
amazing.
Like, somebody really like knew their stuff. It was really awesome, and we really appreciated the details that they put into it.
Klingon buffet dinner that was $47. 47.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We choose to believe that that's why it was priced $47.
Yes,
they looked at all the Star Trek numbers and they're like, which is the one that we could get away with?
That we like the best.
47.
Our base 80. I don't think that'll work.
No. 31. No,
it's like a bucket of worms. It shows.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great time. And there were so many good panels. Melissa, of course, was in the vendors room. Sirach was in the signers room. It was a great time had by all. Yes.
I agree with May Borello, who mentions Sirach Lofton's panel.
Yes.
That was just beautiful. He's such a special human being. So, yeah, he did wonderful
You know, a
in that
couple other
panel.
panels on that note. The one that was really amazing was towards the end of the weekend, late Sunday afternoon. We had Sonequa Martin Green, David Ajala,
Mm.
and Anthony Rapp, and
Oh,
it was
amazing.
like
Mm.
people. It was a tearjerker. At
Mhm.
the end of the
Yeah.
panel, they got up and they just did like a nice big group hug, and it was the
Oh.
cutest thing I've ever seen in my
Aw.
life. And I've
They
seen a
were just
lot of
loving
puppies.
on each other,
That's
loving on
awesome.
each other, and just so wonderful to each other. It felt very Star Trekky. Yeah,
It was
I
yeah,
love
beautiful.
that.
wonderful. Yeah.
I'd also like to point out another beautiful panel was the lower decks panel. It wasn't really beautiful, it was hilarious, but I got to
Yeah.
moderate on that one, so I had a lot of fun. The easiest job you'll ever have is moderating the lower decks panel because all you have to do is basically say, and go.
Yeah.
And they just go. They're funny. Tawny Newsome, Eugene Cordero, and Noelle Wells in her very first appearance with
Right.
Creation. She was hysterical.
That's awesome.
What a great time that was. I was laughing. I lost 6 pounds just from laughter.
That's crazy.
45 minutes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
side
Yeah.
splitting.
Wow.
Now,
Refill on a
Melissa-
A lot
Wolfman
of
breakfast
sitting.
sandwich.
Yes.
What about from your perspective? You were
Mhm.
hanging out in the vendor's room most of the time. Any stories from the vendor's room or from the after hours when we'd party like savages with Romulan ale and alcoholic chocolate goodies? Shout out to
Yes,
Jason Oaken
and
for providing those from
peanut
like
butter.
Switzerland.
The peanut
Peanut butter whiskey. Yeah, screwball
from
peanut butter
Ciroc.
whiskey.
Yes, there
And
were
champagne,
the
all
vendor's
kinds of-
room was really a lot of fun. It was for me, I felt pretty busy most of the time, so that
Awesome.
was great. I didn't get to see much of what was going on in the theater, but I snuck away when I could,
Mhm.
which was maybe once or twice. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of, I don't know, I love seeing the Trekkies, the attendees come by in their
Attendee.
cosplays.
Mhm.
And because people are so creative, and I love how involved they get with Star Trek, and I love how much they love Star Trek, and you just feel that from
Mhm.
anyone, anywhere. And being at a creation convention, it feels like you're wrapped in this warm bubble of loveliness, and
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
just warm bubble of loveliness where, you know,
lovelitude.
there's a lot of, you know, going on out in the world, a lot
Yeah.
of, but you're when you're in the convention, that kind of falls away, and everyone
Mhm.
is there as a community converging on something they all love, and that's always wonderful to see and experience. And
Sorry, I was just going to say in the live chat,
Yeah.
Randall Wong says, Sirach seemed to nod at me, though we do not know each other. Maybe nodding at someone else. Randall, let me just tell you, Sirach told me to tell you he was in fact nodding at you, bro. That was a nod and a wink in your direction. So just rest assured that was for you. Also, shout out to Dead Purple 7, who made the trek out to San Francisco. We see her in the live chat as well. Who else in the live chat went? A lot of fun people. TJ Jackson Bay out in Missouri made the
Oh,
trip
yeah.
out. So did our good
Allison
friend
Leach
Allison Leach Hyde
Mhm.
and Zeke and their whole
Yeah.
family. It was nuts.
that's
We had
Mhm.
way too much fun. Anyway, Melissa, please
Can
continue.
I be honest with you guys?
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Listening to you
Scary.
guys talk about all the various conventions and stuff like that
hmm
is the biggest dopamine hit
It really
ever
is.
for me. It seriously is. Like I'm sitting here
Mhm.
and I'm just like, oh gosh, this is just
I know.
it's like I'm just getting this like wonderful feeling of like comfort and everything. I'm just because I love, like you said, Melissa,
Mhm.
I love the creation conventions. You know,
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
STLV and being able to, even though we may not be able to go to these other ones,
Mhm.
hearing your stories afterwards, it's just always so much
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
For me. It's just like, oh yeah, that's it. Give me
Yeah.
more. I want more.
Yeah, that's nice on the brain. Yeah.
Timba, his arms wide.
Yes, I love that episode.
Me too.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
But-
I had to say that because I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, man, I just have the greatest feeling of well-being listening to you guys talk about your
Love
It's
it.
true. It's absolutely true.
Well, and I also feel like that it extends into shows like this, Virtual TrekCon, where we do get to hang out with each other and talk about Trek. And the people in the live chat are always so wonderful and positive and get to talk about Trek. And that's a little extension of what that bubble feels like. It's a
Definitely.
bubble of positivity. It's a bubble of celebrating the thing we all have in common, and that's our love for Star Trek. And I think Virtual TrekCon is wonderful for that.
I think you're absolutely right.
You guys, I got an update for you. The aforementioned Jason Oken just texted me saying that he just finished watching Section 31.
Oh, really?
And
So that ties in the
Did he love
Section
it?
31 discussion and the San Francisco discussion. Look at
That's
that. What a
fantastic.
marriage.
That's fantastic.
I'm not
Talk
going to
about
answer
belly
your question,
laughing.
Jenny.
One question.
Anyways, so that was a great time.
Mhm.
Let's move forward because that also begs the question about, well, shucks. I'm getting FOMO that I missed San Francisco. Consarn it. I'm going to the
Consarn it.
next Star Trek convention come hell or high water.
Yeah.
To which I would say, well, Star Trek Las Vegas is coming up in a few months. That's a pretty big one. You might want to go to that. Also, there are 3 more regional shows that are coming up right after that. There's going to be Orlando in late August. There's going to be New Jersey in late September. And there's going to be Chicago in November. So everybody stay tuned for that. I don't know, Melissa, why did you have Orlando in these things? What are we going to talk about with Orlando? Because that one's pretty much good to go, right?
Well, because they just recently sent out emails and announcements that you can book your hotel room for Orlando. You can get your admission. They have admission tickets on sale that are available for Orlando. I keep wanting to say
you don't have to be able to say it to book it, luckily. So it's Trek to Orlando, August 23rd to 24th. Doubletree by Hilton Universal. Ooh, Universal. That's in Orlando, Florida. Let's see the guest list. Let's see what's going on here. So far, so good. We remember these folks: Anson Mount, Bonnie Gordon, Casey Biggs, Celia Rose Gooding, Christina Chong. These 2 are great on stage together. Sirach Lofton's always rad on stage. These 2 are great on stage together, too. Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating, God bless.
Yeah.
Ethan Peck. We've got Neelix himself, Ethan Phillips, Gates McFadden, Jeffrey Combs, Jerry Ryan. A lot of people like them some Jerry Ryan.
Absolutely.
John Delancey, Max Grodenchik, myself, Terry Metalis, Vaughn Armstrong. Man, this is big time.
That's fantastic.
Alice.
That's a lot booked already.
That's a
This
great
font.
Yeah.
I know, eh?
The font on the names, I really like it. It's a little bit different.
Too.
Yeah.
Everybody has such
This
cool
stuff.
headshots too.
Yeah. Christina Chong is so beautiful. So is Celia. They're both so beautiful.
This row here is like
gorgeous.
Fire, right?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
They're all so beautiful.
Srock's over there with his "How you doing?"
That's right.
That's his smolder right there.
That's
Sorry, I
awesome.
just got lost for a moment there.
Lost in his eyes.
So look forward to that. Also, you know what? I think it's okay if we look at Vegas already, right? No, it's too early
Yeah.
to look at Vegas. It's 6
We
months
could-
away.
We could a little.
We should
we could a
save it.
Vegas is like
Just a little.
STLV is
Could a
like
little.
Star Trek Christmas for me.
It is.
Mhm.
Me too.
Okay, we'll take just a quick peek
quick
at Vegas. But Vegas
Yay.
is so far from a finished product right now. We're just teasing
But
ourselves.
that's
But like
okay.
Orlando's after Vegas, so if Orlando has stuff booked, would Vegas not have things
Yeah,
booked?
but Orlando's basically close to done. Vegas is like a
What?
monster.
Well, Vegas is the big show, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean we can't still take a gander.
Yeah, there it is.
Look at that video.
I
Who
know.
did this video? I thought we knew somebody who did this video.
I thought
yeah,
so too.
right? Who didn't do this video?
Hmm.
Any idea, Matt?
I don't know, but I hear he's a bit of a tosser.
Let's look at these special guests here.
Okay.
Anthony Montgomery, your friend and
Yay!
mine.
Nice.
Babs Olusanmokan.
He's back.
Cool, dude.
Yes.
And
Elizabeth
Oh,
Dennehy, who
yay.
plays
Come on.
Captain, what is it, Lieutenant Commander
Shelby.
Shelby and Captain
she's
Shelby.
fantastic.
Jerry Ryan, John Billingsley, Jonathan Del Arco.
Oh, we love these people.
Whoa, Kate
Yay.
Mulgrew,
Whoa.
Paul Wesley,
Paul Wesley. What?
Roxanne Dawson,
Excuse
superstar
me?
You've been
director.
at a convention, right?
It's been a while for her. She is a
So
working woman.
Mm.
She's directing
That's awesome.
all over the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So cool.
She is hard to get.
This is awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, Tim Russ and William
Ooh.
Shatner too.
Still combing
Oh,
that
just
desert.
just them also. Whatever.
You know,
Whatever.
those guys.
Oh my god.
It's great.
So cool.
Do you guys think that this is like it's like how the clubs do it, where for the Voyager 30th they say let's just bring in the ladies and the dudes will follow.
Right?
Right? They're like booking Roxanne,
Absolutely.
Kate, Jerry Ryan. Oh, and Phlox, of course. He's like, don't forget me. Oh wait, no, he's in
Oh
it.
my
That's
gosh,
Neelix.
he's
Neelix.
wonderful.
No, but
He's not Neelix.
maybe it's just like if you book the ladies of Vegas, then all the dudes are like, I'll go too. I'll go.
Exactly.
I'll go. I
Yeah.
bet you could look forward to some more Voyager announcements very soon, is my guess.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's like the 30th anniversary, right? Doesn't anybody want to
Yeah.
do
Oh
a
my
special
gosh.
commemoration for Voyager this year? I feel
That's
like,
got to be one of the photo ops.
yeah.
It's gotta be. Oh, I forgot about San Francisco. TJ, our pal TJ Jackson Bay, invited me to share his photo amok with him, and
Nice.
it was so much fun.
That's awesome. Who did you get?
Anson Mount.
Get out. Oh, perfect. Did you ask him
Period.
to wear an
Yeah.
apron?
I would have, but I was too. And it was really cold in that room. But
Wait,
And-
what? What does that mean?
it was really
Okay.
cold, so I was shivering. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
Connor Trenier. And speaking of Neelix, Ethan Phillips was in it too, and Celia Rose Gooding.
Oh my god.
What a great group.
That's
Ethan had a couple
wild.
of jokes to
Great
tell
group.
you to lighten the mood, and
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
Celia, Ethan, Connor, and Anson. That's
mhm.
pretty
That's so
awesome.
cool.
It
Yeah.
was
I
pretty
love
awesome.
these mock
That's amazing.
photo
I
packages.
Can we
love
see
them
this
too.
picture?
Oh, TJ has it. I think he's gonna send me the digital, but
Mhm.
you know, it was
That's
just
really cool.
wonderful
And they
to
don't know either,
experience
too,
it.
right?
Right, right.
The actors don't know that who else is in it. They're just it's like show up at this time and whoever's in
It's
there
a surprise for everybody. And I
That's so
think in
fun.
Vegas,
Cool.
it's going to go real well because Vegas
Uh-huh.
is the gambling crowd. They're like, I'm going to put down a
Mhm.
couple bills
Mhm.
and I'm going to have a group of people that have never been in a room together ever.
Yeah.
Certainly not on a show together.
Right.
And never again. It's a once in a lifetime. This photo opportunity will never happen again.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everybody knows
Oh.
that Connor and Celia hate each other. So,
true.
that'll never
It's true. Yeah.
It's an Enterprise Uhura kind of rivalry. It's weird. I don't
It's
even
really
understand.
understandable. I totally understand it.
Yeah.
Really.
But it's
Yeah.
really a wonderful adventure to go in there
Yeah.
and say, oh, because you're always going to get great people. There's
Yeah.
not one person I would have been like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, it was David Ajala. My bad. David Ajala, not Anson Mount. My brain is in the wrong place.
But he's so cool.
Oh
he
my
is so
God.
funny.
So cool.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
that's
so
an upgrade as far as
nice.
accents are concerned.
I know, man.
Oh yeah. This is
Just
true.
Oh man, the couple times I got to interact with him at STLV last year, he's just
Mhm.
so like very attentive when he talks. to you.
Yes.
Like you don't feel like he's like looking around like, okay, I got to get out of this
Right.
conversation, right?
He's very
Yeah.
present, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember I was stuck in the line across from his table for a really long time and he came over and started giving us all hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw,
Well,
what a
this
guy.
time he had
like, "Would you like a
Grudge
hug?"
with him.
What?
He had a little stuffed cat with him,
Oh my
and it was
God.
Grudge.
That's amazing.
What a lovely human.
Yeah, he's into taxidermy, I guess.
Nice.
Oh.
No, it was an actual like fake stuffed
Mm-hmm.
animal thing. Yeah, we love
Well-
David Ajala.
Yeah. The reason I thought it was Anson Mount is because he was leaving the room.
Oh,
He was leaving the room, and
So you had a moment. Makes
You were
sense.
like,
There were just way too many. So there was a second there where you're like, is Anson in this? Oh, no, he's not. But look at these superstars.
yes. And David Ajala is just as eye candy as
Superstar-y.
well.
yes, he is.
He's just as dreamy.
And
Yes, he
voice
is.
candy.
and
Ear
voice
candy.
candy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's turn the page on that because there's something else we need to talk about, you guys. This is from Deadline.com. Deadline.com. Paramount Board's special committee says it is bound by merger pact with Skydance. Quote, there will not be any engagement with rival bidders. Melissa, can you dumb it down for us? What the heck is going on here?
I think Matt can do a better job at it
Oh,
than
thank
I
goodness.
can.
Someone.
Because I was reading it and I was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I kind of got the gist of it, but I think Matt knows what it is more than I do.
Right.
Well, basically, the bottom line is that obviously we have this merger between Skydance and Paramount that's happening, right? And once you start that process, there's like it's a 45-day period in which you can entertain bids from other
Right.
people, right? And maybe some of those might not be as much money, but they're better in other areas, right? Well, since that has happened, we've had a couple people who've come in and been like, but wait, there's more, like, wait, I want a shot at this.
Right.
And then they look at it and it's like, well, it's not. So we had this happen back in October.
Right.
And now we have another group going, wait, we're offering something that's better and more money than what Skydance is saying. And the board, the special interest board is going, thank you, but you're outside of, that window has closed. So
Yeah.
we're proceeding forward with this. Thank goodness. Because otherwise that would be just more and more delays. And so
Yeah.
it's too late for them to offer that. And so we're moving forward with the Skydance Paramount merger.
When?
It was supposed to have been
I've heard it
the end of the year, I thought.
I think it's going to take place over the course of this year. So
Over the course of the year?
I know. It seems like
As if
a long
January
time.
wasn't long enough already.
I know, right? Well, we're not even out of January yet.
Oh my
And
God.
January's making
Yeah.
sure that we feel every single one of its days.
Yes.
Hey, I like January.
Oh,
But you're
me
You're
too.
muted.
Sorry, I was making a very funny joke where January is like,
Oh.
let's make sure they never forget the name January.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
It's better if I wasn't muted, though.
That was really good.
January is great.
There's nothing wrong with
Ish.
January.
It just
This
It's
one has just been
great.
had a lot of things happen in it.
yes,
A lot of ups and downs. It's a roller coaster ride. LA has seen fire and LA has
Yeah.
seen rain. LA has seen sunny days that we thought would never end.
Oh,
Seen lonely times when we could not find a friend. We
really
also
like
saw
that
some
song.
snow. It's a good song.
Do
Drove
love
through
that song.
snow yesterday, you guys, in LA. How weird is that?
oh yeah, crazy.
We
I looked
get
out my
snow
window
in LA
earlier and there
County.
was so much snow I couldn't see.
Were you,
Oh,
It was like a
Oh.
whiteout
love
moment.
snow.
Like it was a
You're lucky.
squall. A squall.
Can you open your door?
Love Snow.
Can I open my door?
yeah, I mean, is there so
Mhm.
much snow that you can't open your
No,
door?
it's just the air was full of snow.
Oh, a flurry.
So
No,
you're
like,
like in
no,
a
no, flurry is
snow
like flurry. A squall or a whiteout is like so much snow that all you see is white stuff.
What's the
can't see.
difference? I don't understand the difference.
A flurry? We call flurries. Flurries is like there's some snow in the air.
It's
Flurries.
not a
light.
lot then,
It's
okay.
Yeah.
light.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought a
It's
flurry was
crazy.
like a lot.
And that is a flurry of activity, but it's sort of it's like it's stuff
in
happening,
the
but it's
air,
not
yeah.
like yeah.
You can't
You wouldn't
see
say
5 feet in front of
everybody
you.
doing everything is a flurry of activity. Maybe.
How do we get on this? This is
I
terrible.
don't know.
Anyway, look, Melissa's pissed. She's like, I want to talk about Star Trek, not
No,
flurry.
I was figuring out how to describe it because flurries are light snow. A
Yeah.
squall is like blizzard.
Yeah.
That's like
Funny
when you're
because
driving and it looks like you're going through hyperspeed, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
And also squall is like it's not you wouldn't have snow all day long and call it a squall.
Right.
It's like a shorter.
A flash of rain.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you get a big short burst of rain. It's like
Exactly.
a big short burst of snow.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
A
big
clobbering.
short burst of boredom.
Oh my
Um,
God. Who doesn't love weather? Come on, man.
And no, I understand. I'm the one that actually brought it up, so I
You
blame
did.
myself. It wouldn't be the first mistake I'd ever made. It's okay. But that was fun. A flurry isn't as great as it sounds. I get it. Okay. So up next, boy, the
Drizzle
Skydance
versus
thing is
downpour.
the
Drizzle
sky
versus downpour.
Exactly.
glibbering.
Exactly.
That's like the Ferengi have, what
Gleaming.
is it? Something like
Gleaming.
17 different terms for
Right.
gleaming
Rain,
for
yeah.
rain.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Speaking of Ferengi,
Always keep your gleaming open.
I don't know. Do we want to
Mhm.
save Nog Talk for Friday though?
what do you think?
If you want.
I love
We don't want to.
Minecraft,
We don't want to
Because
like.
we're-
We don't want to.
we're-
We want to give him his
Rush.
time.
Yeah, we don't want to
We
rush
don't want to
it.
rush.
Agreed.
And I think this is way too good.
Through it. Mhm.
But I
Agreed.
do want to
Agreed.
rush the influence of Captain Janeway on StarTrek.com. Check, or should we save that one for
We
Friday
could
too?
save that too. Yeah.
That's a good
kind of
one. That's a juicy one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, back
So
to
much
the
good
weather. Okay.
There's too
Perfect.
much
And
good
the-
stuff.
But there's a short thing that
Yes, on this
Okay.
day, right? On
Yeah.
this day in Star Trek. That one we can't push off to Friday because then it'll be obsolete.
right.
So this is from Facebook.com, everybody. Check this out. This is the one not created by Tom. TrekNews.net posts the Star Trek Enterprise 4th-season episode Babel 1 aired for the first time 20 years ago today, January 28th, 2005. I love
How
the Mako
crazy
guys.
is
I wish
that?
they used them more.
Does that say
And-
20? How many years ago? 20? 20 years
Yeah.
ago?
20.
Yeah.
Exactly 20
I
years
know, that's
ago.
not right.
And that's
Enterprise was
mind-boggling.
20 years
Dang it,
ago.
Bobby. That's not right.
Enterprise was
know.
20 years ago.
Enterprise ended 20 years
Ago. Yeah, that was season 4.
That
Yeah.
is weird.
I don't accept
Yeah.
this.
Get off our lawn, right? Am I right?
Time is a construct.
Wow. But still, that's boggling.
It's boggling.
It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's boondoggling.
What? Oh God, I'm just thinking about the things.
What
that
did you
happened
just say?
in 2000.
I heard that, Jenny.
Twat.
No, I know.
The night
So
before
excited to
Christmas?
blurt it out.
No.
Oops.
No, I'm just thinking about like the life stuff that
Put on
happened
the
in
bloopers.
2005, and the fact that those things happened 20 years ago is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Good save.
Whoops.
Okay.
You made Ryan's eyes water.
I didn't mean to.
They got a little moistened. It's okay. Anyway, the point is, everybody, that is really cool and sad and scary and awesome all at the same time and weird.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure how to feel about that.
Yeah.
But yay,
Okay.
Enterprise.
I know it's gonna
Yeah.
get its love one of these days.
It does get its love. Have you ever started singing the song in front of people at a Star Trek convention? They all sing it.
It's
You know,
infection.
I've mentioned this before, but people like to talk a little jive about the Enterprise theme song.
Yeah.
Notably, Sirach Lofton is one of the most recent ones. When he finally heard the song, and I said, "Oh, this is the Enterprise theme song." He's like, "No, it isn't." I was like, "No, it
Yeah,
it really is." And he's like, "Bro, this isn't a star." No, and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "This is horrible," and I was like, "That's where you're wrong, my faithful
Yep.
friend, my faithless friend, I should say."
Exactly.
Oh.
I
of
had
the
the
heart.
same reaction.
But here's the thing. People talk a lot of jive about it, but every single time I have done a poll in a Star Trek group, we're
Mhm.
talking about Star Trek groups with tens of thousands of Star Trek fans, with the question being, is your feeling of the Enterprise theme song generally favorable or generally unfavorable? You know, is it a 6 to 10
Yeah.
or a 1 to 5? Every single time, it's 2/3 favorable.
Mhm.
So let that be a lesson to you. This may be the first time you've heard this, but probably not. The negative ones are in the minority, but they're the loudest.
Yep.
You always
Always. Yeah.
think that it's way more negativity than it is. It's just that the negative Nancys are the loudest. It's an awesome song.
It's so
and
good.
don't let them ruin it for you.
And coupled with the visuals of the opening of that
love
show,
the visuals.
Yes.
So good.
great. So good.
perfection.
Yes.
It makes me
Spot on.
cry.
Yes.
Like it's exactly what it needs to be.
Yes. I felt that from the very first episode that I watched.
Mhm.
Granted, I'd watched it for the first time
Yeah.
in 2020 during COVID, but
Mhm.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it really sets the tone of the show. It's a
Yeah.
grassroots
Yes. The same
it-
way, and this might be strange, but the same way that the Discovery theme song and visuals
Right.
sets the tone.
Yes.
I really liked the theme
Yeah.
song, and I love the visuals that set the tone for it,
Yeah.
where it just kind of tells you what you're in for. You know,
Yeah.
the
Right.
angle that we're taking. Really like
Yeah.
it.
right. The same with Prodigy, the same
Yes.
with Lower Decks, same
I
with
mean-
Deep
Picard.
Space Nine.
Yep.
Prodigy just has the most heart-pumping theme song of all.
Yeah.
I mean, Prodigy's
It's so
theme
good.
song
Great.
It's
is
awesome.
an A plus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Fact.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Agreed.
Let's talk about the week ahead, buddy. Okay, so yesterday on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, we released our full review of Redemption Part 1. Wait a second,
Ooh.
didn't you guys? Don't worry about
They're both there now.
it.
All of this has
Oops.
happened before.
Yeah, Redemption Part 1. So we are flying from Season 4 into Season 5 on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. So please make sure you go over to the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, watch those full reviews, and enjoy them. Then this Thursday on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic, make sure you go to the Seventh Rule YouTube channel and check out our full review of Check's Notes, Section 31. You're going to find out how I really feel about Section 31. But first, I have to watch it. And Sirach Lofton first has to watch it. I'm sure Sirach wasn't like, sorry, I couldn't wait. I had to watch it right when it came out. Nah, he's going to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're going to review it. And we're not going to pull any punches. We're going to be like Avery Brooks accidentally punching Mark Alimo in their scene. And Mark Alimo having to get rushed to the hospital because that really happened. We're going to do that. So that's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic Time on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel this coming Thursday. Then on Friday, come right back here to the Virtual TrekCon channel for Star Trek and Chill. You missed it. You love it. It's back this Friday live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel, Friday. Then on Sunday, on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, let me check on this one. We're going to release our first segment review of... Oh, there it is. You're right, Matt Boardman. Disaster with your friend, Dan Curry, VFX guru.
Nice.
Dan Curry, who did a lot of cool stuff. He's got a lot of great stories about that awesome episode that has some very memorable scenes. Me too.
I love it.
Very memorable scenes from my childhood about disaster. One is like Geordi and Beverly trying to reach the thing and Geordi collapsing. And then, of course, everybody remembers the kids, you know, like a lot of stuff.
Frere Jacques.
But then they changed it to Ding Ding Dong.
Ding Dong.
That's part of it. That's part of the song.
It's Ding Dang
Ding
Dong.
Dang Dong.
Oh, yeah.
So my theory is that they changed it because maybe the kids just couldn't get it right. Like they were getting too confused. They're like ding dong, dang, ding, ding. And they're just like, how do we simplify this?
I just figured,
get through it.
I just figured Patrick Stewart for some reason had like this weird English version of it that he sang. Like,
no, but I learned
the most
it
British
in an
French
English
guy ever.
School. And I learned it ding dang dong.
Me too, yeah.
I thought I learned it ding ding dong.
Oh,
interesting.
Ring ding dong, ring a ling ding ding dong.
Oh,
maybe it's an American thing.
I know you're bobbing your heads.
Anyway, ding dongs are delicious too, everybody.
So I hear
from Hostess.
I haven't had one in a really long time.
I've never had one.
They're good. But I think ho-hos were my favorite.
I've never had one of those either.
Ho-hos. I also like snowballs.
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 The marshmallow
I like
covering.
Those are good.
Not the Swiss. What are the chocolate roly things?
Yeah,
the
that's
wagon?
Ho-hos.
No, not wagon wheels.
No.
Those are ho-hos? Those are little Debbie guys.
Yeah, you're thinking the little Debbie ones.
Little Debbie Downers.
No, they have the chocolate and then the cream, and then I
the pinwheels are pretty crazy too. Yeah, pinwheels are something else too. Anyway,
first and then
sorry, you guys. Everybody at home, that's a preview of what we do on Star Trek and Chill. We talk about food and sometimes accidentally Star Trek. Anyway,
Swiss cake rolls. That's what those are.
Swiss cake rolls. Yes.
Yeah. Joel
tapeworms.
Cake rolls.
Tapeworms. I mean,
you twat.
Cake rolls.
Whoop.
If we were in England, that would be perfectly acceptable. Right now, there are some people in England going like, what's the problem?
I didn't say the other word. that English people also have no problem with.
What's that?
I don't know. Something about see you next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that one. And we will see you next Tuesday on the main viewer, everybody. But before we do that, Jenny, can you please tell everybody where they can find you and your goodies online?
You can. Yes, I can indeed. You can find me at my website at just JennyRJohnson.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter, and you can go to my shop and buy prints if you want to do that, or you can just check out what I'm doing. But you can also pop over to the old social media. I am at Jenny R. Johnson Art on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Red Note.
Red flag.
Everybody's over there too.
Red flag. Go on red flag.
Red flag.
I was just waiting for
Red
that little
flag.
piggy to go home.
Isn't that oh, I thought red flag was like a catch your spouse cheating kind of thing.
That's a red flag, definitely.
That is definitely a red flag.
What about yourself, Melissa? Are you to be found on red flag, or where are you?
No. I'm on social media at Melissa Longo. I think I'm gonna be playing there a little bit less than I have before and focusing more on my website, walkingartmadebymelissa.com. So follow my newsletter and my blog, and which is part of the website. And because there are going to be more and more updates coming there, and I will be playing there more often. But also on the YouTube, Three Fat Lobsters, I'm hoping to put more stuff up here on the YouTube, and the virtual TrekCon, the Seventh Rule, and all of these fun videos.
I love this plan.
What about yourself, V Matt?
Well, I am sometimes found in the groups, sometimes lurking. So watch what you say, because I might jump in there with a Starship fact.
Yes.
I am also trying to do better about Blue Sky. And sometimes, well, no, yeah.
It's so
And then-
hard.
I know, it's just,
I'm not.
I know. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was like, man, we can't even share pictures through the instant messenger in there yet. So
Give it time. If it's new, give it time. It'll happen.
it'll happen. But
Here I am
not
advocating for the
right.
thing I'm too lazy to join, but it's true. Like, give it time.
it's just
It'll-
one more.
things
It's like,
improve
it's
over
like one more
time.
streaming service.
I
How
just
much
can't.
time do I
There's too
have?
many things.
Oh my
There's
gosh! But
so
yeah, and then
many things.
occasionally check out my ArtStation page. I think I'm going to try to start doing more, putting more art up there, and maybe even trying to put some of my animations on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see.
Do it.
That's fun.
All right, and everybody, you can find me on twitter.com at RyanTGHusk, and of course on Facebook in the groups and in Discord if you know how to find that. That's another one people forget to use. I joined Snapchat a
Oh.
long time ago. I never use it though. Although I know
But-
that Darth Shui primarily uses Snapchat. Yes, Melissa Longo?
Really?
There is a disclaimer for the Discord. You do have to be a patron of the Seventh Rule to
There it
be
is.
part
Yes.
of the Discord. So if you're not a patron, unfortunately, you will not
You won't
be
find me
included.
on Discord. Yeah.
Right. But
That's
go
the only
ahead.
place I'm going to
It's-
be.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to donate $1 million. It's $1 to donate, and you get included in the Discord.
And it's worth every second.
It is.
Also, everybody, but especially really at Virtual TrekCon, at Falling Tower, and at the Seventh Rule on your favorite social media, but really primarily right here on YouTube, where the magic happens, everybody, if you can believe that. That's it for us. Thank you so much to Tim McCaffrey on B, Joshua Reeve, Dave Gregory, Robert Kaiser out in Austria, Greg Kenzo in Hawaii, War Dog in Montana, Mark Zutkoff, Back of the Head. What's up, Back of the Head? Good to hear from you. Joy. I like how her name is just Joy. Everybody else has like this
Yeah.
long thing. And she's just Joy. Matt, Bob D, who says, Matt, picture sharing just went live. See? May Borello, Glenn Iverson, Arg Scott, and everybody. We see all of you, Dead Purple 7, and we appreciate all of you. Lucia Roz, Joel, we'll see you next time. And remember, hey, when you want to talk about Hostess cupcakes, it's usually going to be on a Star Trek and chill. But if you want to talk about all the news of the week and, whether we're too old to appreciate Section 31, put it on the main viewer.